Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Brand Podcast. I'm your host, Satara Brown, and every week I'm taking you behind the scenes of what it really takes to bet on yourself. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Brand Podcast. This week we are talking about how you do not need to feel indebted to anyone who has done something nice to you from the kindness of their heart. So we are breaking the chains, literally. I have been having this struggle with relationships since my mother passed away. And I felt like I had to hold on to certain people for various different reasons of how I felt like they showed up and they were there for me at certain points in my life that were really low. And today I'm choosing to let all of that go. I don't owe anyone anything. And just because someone was nice to me in a season, because someone lent a shoulder to cry on, opened their doors to me, that doesn't mean that I am forever indebted to them and that I have to hold them on some type of pedestal. We're all on the same level playing field, right? No one is better than anyone else. And if someone chose to be there for me during a time where I really needed someone, that's great. But I can't hold that over my shoulders, right? And I don't even think that I have people who have held anything over their shoulders or my shoulders in terms of me. But there's just people that I no longer want to associate with. And, you know, without saying any names, I'm just in a new season. And for a long time, for over a year now, I have been going back and forth like, well, I can't let this person go because we have this history, or I can't let this person go because they let me stay the night where I had nowhere to go, or I can't let this person go because every time I called, they were there. And it's been like real heavy navigating this and navigating it on my own. But I feel like this is something that I needed to do on my own. And it's brought me to this specific space in my journey where I'm no longer holding space in my head for anything of a previous season. I'm letting things go. The closet has been cleaned. Finally, I emptied it. I shed all of the unwanted things. And I'm only welcoming and making room for things that belong in this season. And it feels great. Even in terms of my dad, like I said before, it's not that I talk bad about my dad, but I just give y'all the real, right? And the side that I chose to show of my dad, I don't even want that energy around me. I don't want that energy inside of me. And that's not the type of energy that I want to spew. As of lately, I've been making juices for my dad and ginger shots. And my dad's an older man. He's 76. I remember my dad, he used to be into like, you know, juices, natural juices and things of that sort. And I remember when my mom was sick, I was so mad at my dad. I would make my mom ginger shots. I would make my mom 3 meals a day, every single day. And my dad, he'll say something like, oh, I like such and such juice. And I'd be like, I don't care. And looking back, it's like, how dare I? How dare I? I was so mad and I was so hurt by how I felt like my dad was handling the situation of my mom being sick without even giving it a chance and understanding that he's human as well too. And I'm just grateful for the space that I'm in right now with my dad. I'm no longer attached to that version of him, to what happened while my mom was sick, what didn't happen while my mom was sick, and just really, you know, letting all of that go. So while I am no longer attaching myself to what I felt indebted to because people were there for me during a hard time. I'm no longer indebted to the trauma that was caused. And I shed that. I released it. I let it go. And now my dad, it's a thing. I like make ginger shots and send them over, and I add turmeric, and I'm like, hey, did you like that one? And would you like a green juice? And it just feels good to mentally be in the space. It feels good to be cleansed of all of so much dead weight that I've been holding on to. And it's hard to navigate through, and it's hard to walk into something that's new. It's hard to walk into this new season without those traumatized that I had, traumatized, not traumatized, but traumatized that I've had with other people that kept us, as friends or hanging out, or even like relationships with family members. I after my mom passed away, there's so many family members that I stopped talking to, and then there's family members that I felt indebted to, that they were there for me during a hard time. But I have had to come to the realization that I trauma bonded with a lot of people. I only spent a lot of time around a lot of people because it involved alcohol. And the same way I don't want to be indebted to people who were around, important to me, positive things, I don't want to be indebted to anyone, especially if it involved us in alcohol all the time. And alcohol was the main topic of discussion. It's so funny because I am plant-based. I cook most of my meals. I don't really eat out. And I always thought of myself as someone who ate out a lot, but I never was a person who ate out. I used to go out and drink, and then after I got drunk, I would probably order something to eat because I needed something on my stomach, but I was never the person to go out and eat. So even just disconnecting from things that were just so normal and so second nature. When you're walking into this new season, you cannot operate how you did in the past. And I say this all the time, but it is so true. And if you're in this season of walking into the new you but still being pulled back by the old you, or dealing with troubled waters, I encourage you to fast, and fast however you see fit, because after that fast, you will see a new thing in you. And I just feel grateful that I'm able to be grounded, and I'm able to see things for what they are, for what they weren't, and kind of see where things could possibly be. Although all this is brand new, I can say in all of these transitions, mental health is just so important. And I think that we don't talk enough about mental health, and thinking about those relationships that I'm breaking the change from. Mentally, I was not in a good space, and I don't even know how I was operating, even in terms of like when I was running my nonprofit and working full time and going to school and going to the city to school and doing all these things. Mentally, I must not have been well, and I don't think that I've ever taken a chance or taken the time as I am now to really think and focus on myself and on my mental health. I just always been on the go. And yeah, I'm just so grateful to be in a space where I can just be. I think we take so many things for granted that we don't even take time to be still and to be, because we are so busy being attached to things that don't really matter. Even in terms of like the frequency of how often I talk to my friends, it's all love. And I know I talked about how I was struggling with relationships, but I learned that I had to shed the old version of myself. I am no longer the friend who is talking to my friends all day long. I'm just not. Like, I am the friend who is practicing self-care all the time. I am the friend who is practicing mindfulness all the time. I am the friend who only engages in soft girl activities all the time, period. You can't catch me in the club. I don't want to have a drink. I am no longer going to the hookah lounge. And that's totally okay, you know? And I'm also not overworking myself. I caught myself a couple months ago, like working too hard. And, you know, there's a difference between like working really hard there's a difference between working smarter and not harder. And I caught myself working harder and I had to pause for a second, like, no, 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 no. And if you listen to my past episodes, that's why I was so unaligned because, like, girl, what are you doing? You're supposed to be here shooting with Berto and you're doing something else, you know? So, like, my life is so different and I need to do the things that bring me joy. I need to do the things that fill my cup. I need to continue to put myself first, whatever that looks like. And for me, it's so hard to put myself first because I'm not used to it, right? I feel so indebted to everyone else because you said hello to me. Now I have to go make you a whole 5-course meal. Girl, no, let that go. You don't owe anything to anyone. And while I am a recovering people pleaser, I am learning boundaries in a very new way, even in terms of my nephews, right? My nephews are not my kids. I love them to death, but they are not my kids. So even how I show up for them, how much time I'm spending with them, the activities that I'm doing, I have learned that I can't be everything to them because I'm not their parent. And I don't want to be everything to them, right? They have parents. And just learning my place, finding boundaries. So like back to my friendships, no, I do not talk to my friends all the time. And I think in my past episodes, you'll hear me talk about relationships. I think that was like kind of a struggle for me. Like, so are we still friends or not? Although I'm the type that I don't need to talk to people all the time, but because certain dynamics shifted while my own personal life was shifting, it was kind of weird. Like, so what's actually going on? But, you know, it's all love. And I know I mentioned in an episode that I'm ready to let everything go. And I said in the episode that was not right of me. The truth is I'm not ready to let everything go. I value my friendships. I value my relationships. Even my relationship with my father. I value my relationship with my dad now more than ever. I'm not going to sit here and say that we're best friends and that we can talk all day long and we hang out and we have dinner together. But I value and I respect every single one of my relationships, including the one with my father. And this has came through a lot of work, even just in the past 7 months or however many months of this year and having this podcast. Like, I'm changing my tune, and it's because I am doing the inner work and I want to be the best version of myself and I want to live the softest life. You know, I mentioned something in a previous episode about how you show up online. Like, you can't show up online and you're a girl's girl, but then all of the, like, if someone scrolls over and sees all of the posts that you repost and you share and it's like mean girl stuff, you like, those two don't go together. And for me, I am practicing, I am walking, I am in a season where I am exerting exactly what I feel inside. So like, if I say, hey to my dad, how you doing? I missed you. Everything about that is genuine. I'm not saying anything to people please. I'm not saying anything to make someone feel better about themselves. I'm not saying anything to make myself feel better about myself. I'm just being authentic and genuine in how I show up. And that comes with like the detachment of feeling like I owe anyone anything, feeling like I need to make people happy or I need to people please or that I have to have the solution to everyone's problems. I spoke about mental health. I have my own problems and I am hyper aware of the problems that I have. And my main focus and my main goal before my nephews, before everything else, is to take care of myself, is to make sure that I am getting regulated. I am finding the root cause of my anemia and getting my health together. Because everything could look good on the outside, but it's really about what's going on and doing the inner work. So it's interesting to see how I have grown in just a short period of time. And it's funny because the podcast, it holds me accountable. I hope that if y'all are watching on YouTube, y'all are subscribed to the Girl Boss Brand podcast. I hope that you leave a comment. Let me know something that you are holding yourself accountable for. And I'm going to read the comments and I'm going to make mention of it before the end of the year. So let me know something that is a personal goal of yours that you are holding yourself accountable for. And if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you head over to the Girl Boss Brand podcast. You subscribe. We are looking to get to 1,000 followers. I'm not going to put a subscribers. I'm not going to put a date on it, but we have to get to 1,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And we're also on Instagram as well, Girl Boss Brand Podcast. But I'm loving doing these podcast episodes because it truly keeps me accountable. One, it keeps me accountable. Two, it forces me to be consistent. Although I've been inconsistent to an extent, it forces me to be consistent. I don't know. But it forces me to continue to show up. And even when things don't always go as planned, or I have to reschedule or cancel or find a new date, or I'm running late, I still have to show up. And I can't just go on a hiatus because I already started the podcast, right? So find something, or let me know in the comments something that you want to be consistent with. It could be going to the gym. I done started going to the gym and restarted about 4 times this year. But guess what? Starting tomorrow, I am starting again. And y'all gonna see, because I'm gonna wear a tank top again. So y'all gonna see the definition of my arm, if they exist. Because right now they don't. But you have to do something for yourself, and it doesn't matter if it doesn't look perfect. For me, I started beating myself up because I'm like, I'm supposed to be consistent with the podcast, and I don't have an episode because I didn't record. And then my chief of staff was like, well, we're going to do a throwback Thursday, so we're going to do an old episode. And I'm like, I thought we were past the old episodes. I don't want them to see them raggedy episodes with the poor quality. And she's like, no, people are going to see how much you grew. And then, of course, I got on the podcast and spilled the beans saying that, yeah, we threw that in there because I wasn't prepared. But it just goes to show that nothing is going to be perfect, but you just have to get started. It doesn't matter what it looks like. And, y'all didn't know that throwback episode was not planned. It went right in with the flow. So you really have to just keep going, stop people pleasing, shed all of the dead weight, and for the first time in your life, I'm 34, and for the first time in my life, I'm choosing myself. I'm showing up for myself. I'm putting myself first, and it's challenging because I have never done this before. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's supposed to feel like, but I'm doing it. And even if I have to check myself, even if I have to restart, I'm going to continue to do this. So I challenge you to find something that you're going to lock in on yourself to better you, not your family, not your children, not your husband, not your spouse, not your relationship, something to better you. And put it in the comments so you can hold yourself accountable. And I will check in with you on the next episode of the Girl Boss Brand podcast. I'll see you next week.